threat, a demand, when issued by someone with absolute, overwhelming power, becomes simply inevitable fate. After all, who could possibly oppose it? That is the existence known as the Yonko. Hello and welcome to One Piece 101, the series that breaks down everyone and everything in the One Piece world. Today we're taking a look at the serious powerhouses of the One Piece world. The Yonko, also known as the Four Emperors, comprise the four most powerful and feared pirates in the world. Throughout this video I'll be using the term Yonko and Emperor interchangeably, depending on which I prefer at the time. Currently the Yonko comprise of Red-Haired Shanks, 100 Beast Kaido, Charlotte Lin Lin, aka Big Mom, and Marshall D. Teach, also known as Blackbeard. It should be noted that prior to the Paramount War, it was Whitebeard who held the Yonko position, now currently in possession by Blackbeard. Apart from the status of Pirate King, the Yonko title is probably the hardest thing to attain in the One Piece world. Unlike becoming one of the 7 warlords, there's no power that can offer somebody this position. Instead, it must be taken by a show of force and a recognition of power in the eyes of the world. For example, after the death of Whitebeard, the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates faced off against the full force of the Blackbeard pirates in an event known as the Payback War. It was only after the Whitebeard pirates' convincing defeat that Blackbeard became recognized as one of the 4 emperors. It's also clear that the title can't be attained by an individual alone, but through the power of their direct crews, subdivisions, and allied forces. For example, Whitebeard's direct crew totaled over 1,600 men, with one division commander to lead 100 men each. Furthermore, he had 43 other allied pirate crews that were not directly affiliated with his flag. Each of the other Yonko possessed crews of a similar scale, although the hierarchy of power differs slightly from crew to crew. To illustrate, Whitebeard had 16 division commanders, while Kaido chooses to have only 3 direct sub-commanders, in his case known as the 3 Calamities. The individuals in these commander positions invoke almost as much fear and respect as the Yonko themselves. For example, one of Big Mom's commanders, Katakuri, has the highest known bounty in the series so far, sitting at 1,057,000,000 berries. To put this into some perspective, after 20 years of serialization, Luffy has only very recently attained a bounty of 500 million berries. These guys are absolutely no joke, and in a lot of cases, merely mentioning the name of a Yonko is enough to strike instantaneous fear into some of even the most veteran of pirates. They're referred to as a group, the Yonko, or the 4 Emperors. However, each of them act individually and often politically, making neither allies or enemies of the other emperors. They're all considered equal in power and act kind of like a self-balancing mechanism. No Yonko really wants to directly confront another because it leaves them open to an attack from the remaining 2. Each faction has their own agenda, with most of them also aiming to become the next Pirate King. However, the world government live in the constant fear that 2 crews will one day make an alliance. This fear is justified because during the Paramount War, the world government required the full force of the Marines, as well as the 7 warlords of the sea, simply to engage the forces of one Yonko, that being Whitebeard. And had certain outside factors not gone in the favor of the world government, it may still have not been enough to defeat the forces of Whitebeard. What we do know is that the appearance of another Yonko at the war, Shanks, was enough for both sides to immediately declare the skirmish over. The Yonko all reside in the second half of the Grand Line, known as the New World. Their lack of presence in the first half of the Grand Line is part of the reason why it's referred to as Paradise in comparison to the New World. Each of them control vast territories that could more accurately be referred to as empires. Their presence is so imposing that Trafalgar Law stated the only 2 ways to survive in the New World was to become protected under the umbrella of a Yonko, or to have the strength to consistently oppose them. In order to achieve the second aim, many pirate crews form alliances to combat the Yonko. For example, currently the Luffy Law Alliance exists to defeat Kaido, while other members of the Worst Generation, Eustace Kid, Killer, Scratchman Apu, and Basil Hawkins, publicly announced an alliance with the goal of bringing down Shanks and the Red Hair Pirates. Even then, it's an extraordinary task to face off against the Yonko, even if you can get through the unpredictable seas of the New World, dispatch the sheer numbers of crew members, and then accomplish the task of beating their horrifically powerful commanders. You still have to take down the Emperor themselves. So let's look at that for a second. Big Mom possesses the Soul Fruit, allowing her to manipulate, you guessed it, your soul. This gives her practically the power to kill just about anyone if they get too close to her. Blackbeard is the only man in the world to have eaten 2 devil fruits and live, those being the most powerful paramecia known, the Gura Gura no Mi, and the most powerful Logia fruit known, the Yummy Yummy no Mi. Kaido is known as the strongest creature in the world, and may be legitimately immortal. I'm not kidding, the man's hobby is to consistently attempt and fail to kill himself. And Shanks is, well, Shanks. Some more fun facts about the Yonko. The only time 2 of the emperors have been seen clashing directly was a brief skirmish between Shanks and Whitebeard. They managed to split the sky open with a single clash. Both Kaido and Big Mom are in possession of a road poneglyph, which presents a huge hurdle to anybody aspiring to become the Pirate King, including themselves. Hawkeye Mihawk is one man in the world who may actually be as powerful as an emperor, as he was shown to duel equally with Shanks. What Mihawk doesn't possess is a crew capable of delivering the full power of a Yonko. In fact, he doesn't possess a crew at all, he just kind of does his own thing. Good on him. Of all of the other weird people in the world who could possibly take down a Yonko, it is rumoured that the King Punch of Elisabella II could indeed bring down one of the emperors. He does, however, have to actually hit them after charging his punch for a whole hour. Of all of the Yonko, Shanks is the only one to have human-sized proportions. For whatever reason, Kaido is the only emperor referred to directly by name rather than his epithet, the 100 Beast. And finally, here is a particularly useless bit of information. Kaido is the only emperor to have never been shown wearing a hat. And I think that'll about wrap things up for the 4 most feared pirates in the One Piece world. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, favourite or subscribe, and please do comment with who, what or where you'd like to see featured in the next One Piece 101.